The use of the word hard is a value, that we put on things. Yeah. Is the use of the word hard suggests that if it was easy, I'd do it much more freely. But where's the dividing line between easy and hard? Where do you measure hard from? This is exactly what I mean about the duality of life, the duality of words, the duality of concepts, the duality of beliefs. On one hand, we say, well, it's really hard, Kavi. It's hard. It's hard. Well, I say, well, just drop the word hard and replace it with the word easy. But it's not as simple as that, because you've already conceptualized that there's a dividing line that says it's easy, it's getting harder, it's getting harder, it's getting harder, it's too hard. But you don't even use the word too hard. You see what I'm trying to make you suspicious of your own value judgments in this experience. Yeah. Yeah. You know, one of the fundamental things is that to see that the reward, the tantalizing reward that is offered by the agitated mind or the egoic self, or what we might call the trickster, yeah, the reward for a devotion to it that doesn't work, and it doesn't satisfy, and it doesn't actually lead to happiness beyond the cessation of discomfort in that moment. And there we are back on the merry-go-round. There we are back on the wheel that turns incessantly forever in our lives, because we're all in what we call the unconscious state, addicted to something that seems to suggest that if we feed it, it'll take away our pain, and it doesn't. That needs to be seen. And when that is seen, preferably with an open heart, preferably from an open-hearted place, and I don't want to get into what that actually means, just means a place of willingness to meet it as it is, then we see that the reward game that was actually playing itself out is futile. It doesn't work. There is such tremendous power in seeing that the reward system that the ego self offers us is futile. What are we going to do then? Yeah, short term is taking a cigarette. Short term is the cessation of the pain that's causing it in the first place, right back to the root. Yeah, or what we're trying to avoid. Yeah, you avoid it for a minute. I know I've been a great smoker in my life, and actually it worked for me very well. Yeah, or a drinker or a drug. It doesn't really matter. In that moment, and then it returns. It can return after 5 minutes, or it can return after 5 days, or even it can return after 5 years. It has to die, in effect. And it can only die really to this person through openness, through a willingness to see it's an illusion. It feeds temporarily. If we want to stay hooked into the temporary, we keep on doing it. And if we don't want to stay hooked into the temporary because there's something more abiding, more free beyond it, then we have to let go of that mechanism itself, period, end of story. The dance of doing that can cause pain. It can bring up wounds. It can bring up vulnerability. It can bring up terror. It can bring up the existential abyss and all that stuff. But called to it, we are called to it. We are, if we want something more permanent than temporary pain relief. The end. I've got to stop there.
Okay. Thank you.